Hello, my name is Renee Allen. As chair of the Energy Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. On March 5th, 2021, public notice of this meeting was posted on the town website and on the bulletin board of the town offices at 10 Front Street. As provided in that public notice, the public may access the meeting online and via phone. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote, alphabetical by first name. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. When each member states they're present, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting and who that person is, son, spouse, etc., which is required under the right to know law. And you know what? I'm going to put my participants thing open because sometimes we have attendees and I didn't notice. All right, we don't have any attendees at this time. So, Camille.
I'm here and I'm alone in the room.
Cliff.
I am in a waiting room in an office, and there is a receptionist across the room, but not within communication range.
Okay, thank you. Betsy?
Yep, I'm alone in the room.
All right, Julie?
Good afternoon, Julie Gilman. I am alone in my room.
Lou?
Lou Hitzroth, and I'm alone in the room.
And my name is Renee Allen. I'm the chair, and I'm alone in the room. And I'd like to introduce you to our guest speaker, Joshua Singer of Clean Energy, New Hampshire. And Josh, are you alone in the room, or how? What's your status?
I have a friend here, but I'm wearing headphones.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, before we start, the big news is that I'd like to thank everybody because our solar array initiative has passed. Oh, where's Dave? Oh, I hope Dave is able to make it here.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah,
He's celebrating.
Yay! So I'd like to thank everybody that helped on this. If you are holding a sign, if you wrote a letter to the editor, if you shared it on social media, if you are one of those who are clearing up disinformation on the internet currently, or any of you who talked to neighbors or just voted for it, I thank you very much. And it's time for us to do the happy.
Do we know anything about the margin of victory?
We do.
Yeah.
Bob Glowacki showed me his screen. It was 1,031. Here he comes. To 363. There it is right there.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
Yep. Most of the votes went that way.
That's great.
And we passed everything, so that's good.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so the other thing we have to do quickly is approval of the minutes. If anybody got a chance to read those.
There is one mistake, I think, and it's you have HB 213 and it's
Right.
HB 315.
315.
Right.
315.
315.
315. All right, I have noted that. Anything else? If not, motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, and the vote or whatever. Let's see. So Betsy's not. Oh yeah. All right, Cliff.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Lou.
Aye.
Okay, and chair says aye. So that's who we have for a voting population today. Put this off to the side. Okay, so now here we go. We're going to talk to or be introduced to Joshua Singer, who is new at Clean Energy, New Hampshire. He just sent out their LES newsletter, which gave the good news on our energy win yesterday. He's so quick. The man is quick. Okay, so here comes Josh.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm the new program coordinator
Me too.
at Clean Energy, New Hampshire. So I'm going to be taking over the role that Henry was working on, but also taking over the LES work group and doing some more things that for community power and getting people involved with each other, involved in clean energy, any of those things. I've been reaching out to communities such as yours to figure out what you're doing right now, what accomplishments you've been having, such as your recent solar victory, and trying to figure out how we can get people talking to each other to expand clean energy in New Hampshire. I'll be your resource if you want to reach out to me with any questions about what's going on in the policy realm. If you have any questions about wanting to do more projects and wanting to find funding, and if you want some sort of some advice on what to do or what loans or grants to reach out to, feel free to send me an email, ask me a question, or have a call with me. I have some updates on policy things over the last week if you'd like me to go over those, or we could do that later.
Well, let's go now, because first let me ask, who is the person that I would contact about bills that are coming up at the State House?
You could contact me, or you could contact Brianna Fiorillo,
Okay.
or Madeline, our director.
Okay, thank you.
Any update on?
Can I just pause for 1 minute, because Amy has joined us and Dave has joined us. They may want to state their name and that they're in the room, etc.
Amy Farnham alone in the room.
Dave Sharple's alone in the room.
Excellent, thank you. And Joshua, just so you know, Julie Gilman is a member of the Select Board, and she's also a member of the legislators in Concord.
Nice to meet you.
Good.
We have questions for Josh?
I had one. Just Josh, is there any update on what's happened with 315? Has the amendment been acted on in any way?
Yes. The bill was amended with a grand compromise, so community power advocates are happy with it. So
Yep.
It'll be going up for a vote.
Okay. So it passed
Do
out
you
of the
know
committee?
when the vote will take place?
Let me just check. I think it's expected to pass.
But the committee approved it, right? Was it, what is a big margin, or, you know?
I'm not sure.
It was unanimous
There you go.
Cool.
in the
By
committee.
the committee?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Yeah, they changed most of it. It's a very different bill now.
Yeah,
if you,
we saw that. Do you know when it will be voted on officially?
I do not have that date right now.
By,
No one in the House knows.
okay.
I keep getting asked those questions and then going to
know.
check, and there's no information. So,
Last I heard, what might be the first week in April.
okay.
Okay.
And I say might.
Any other questions?
Yeah, following along with that, we were at the point where our committee was going to potentially form kind of an ad hoc committee to work on this specifically. However, we pulled back just a little bit when we heard about this new amendment, which has now been, a grand compromise, and it still might be good. So we may be in the process of doing that shortly, and we may be tapping you for that. Okay.
I'd be happy to help.
All right, thank you. And I know a couple of us are signed up for the March 18th webinar on community power. So we'll
Great.
probably see them inside that room as well.
Yes, Henry's leading that one. I think I'll be joining on as well, just to see how everything's going.
Dave,
Okay.
are you going to be on that meeting? Dave Sharples on that March 18th. Have you seen that? I think it might be a good one for you to hear about.
What time is it?
I think it's at 10:30.
I can send you the link, Dave. Community power, 10:30 to 12 on the 18th.
Yeah, I have a pre-construction meeting for the Transportation Alternatives Program grant project at 10 o'clock on the 18th. So
You
Well,
can, you can
send me
sign
the
in.
link.
Yeah, you can sign in on the state website for that bill, whether you're opposed or in support, because we all hear how many there are of each.
Okay, that's a good idea to sign in for that. But Dave, I'll take minutes of this other meeting on the 18th and give you the rundown, because, we just need to know whether we're going to be moving forward with forming this committee that we want to do, that will be investigating community power and getting our numbers from the Unitil and things like that. Okay, any other questions for Josh? Okay, then. You're off the hook, Josh.
Do you want me to go over a couple of other bills that are coming up? We have three here that I was told to talk about that are coming up. SB 109 has a hearing on Monday, and it would be good to have a lot of people in support of it, especially with HB 106 being uncertain.
And what is SB 109 in regards to?
I'm going to pull up the... SB 109 is the same as HB 106, but doesn't include the low to moderate income community solar projects. HB 106 is allowing for municipal and low to moderate income community solar projects over 1 megawatt.
Okay.
So we also have HB 106, which is going to be retained, but likely have a cap added to it, which is going to be around 3 megawatts, we think. HB 213 is coming up, and the Science, Technology, and Energy Committee voted to retain it. So that'll probably pop back. Well, it's not coming up. It was voted to be retained and will be coming back up next session. We're not sure whether that will be edited or not.
And what is
And
it?
what's that bill?
213 is the Renewable Portfolio Standard. And then we just talked about 315, which was amended.
Can you remind me, is Representative Harrington on that committee?
I think so. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay.
He runs down to the floor every time the word energy comes up and blasts against it. He used to be on the
Doesn't
PUC.
like energy, yeah.
Well, he used to be on the PUC, so he looks out for his guys.
Yeah. I think he is, but I can't say that for sure right now.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay. Dave, is your hand raised?
Yes, thank you, Joshua. Did I just read you right? The HB 106 has been retained until the next session. I mean, isn't that the one? Am I correctly remembering that's the one that would allow the municipalities up to the?
It will either be retained or have a cap added to it.
Okay. What is the schedule for that one? Will we?
I'm not sure at the moment.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, can you explain what a CAT is?
So the original bill of HB 106 was allowing for community solar projects, so community power over 1 megawatt. What they're trying to do is to put a cap on that at 3 megawatts. So now the variability would be 1 to 3 megawatts, which is a little bit short for what we want, but it also lets it pass. So not exactly what we wanted, but not less than we wanted.
It's a transitional step.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on it? Does it look like it's, or do you have one about being retained or being kept?
Well, there's a little bit of both. If it's retained, there's a chance for the cap to be raised. If it's passed, it does get stuff moving along faster. So there's pros and cons to both. For other updates about the LES work group, we have that heat pump webinar that's coming up in late March. I'm planning for the 30th, but I have to just confirm with the two presenters that they're good with that. Energy Week is coming up. It's the April 12th to 23rd, and the agenda should be coming out soon. The link to that is in the LES newsletter that was just sent out. I'm trying to set up some LES work group discussions between communities in New Hampshire as something like this, except we just get people to come together as no expectations. Let's talk about what's going on and see who has ideas and kind of brainstorm about different ideas for New Hampshire.
Yeah, we did something like that before COVID and before Zoom, and it would definitely be a lot easier to have a Seacoast Energy Hub or Southern New Hampshire Energy Hub. So we've met, I think, twice before. Nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Josh? Seeing none, we thank you. Feel free to hang around if you want, or if you're on your way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, let's see. So I'm going to just quickly share the screen for the people who are watching this or who will watch this in the future. This is what we're going to talk about. We just met Joshua Singer, new at Clean Energy New Hampshire. We're going to talk about some solar projects. We're going to talk about Green Minute Video. We're going to talk about Camille's first energy newsletter. And of course, we're going to talk about the exciting news of one of our projects getting passed. Okay, Dave, are you there? You missed the happy dance. So we're so happy. Okay. If we were together, we'd all be sitting and I'd have chocolate and, all kinds of things. We'd be having a party, but we're not. So that's the best I can do. All right. So Dave, you want to talk about the solar that just passed and the solar buyout or any other thing you want to talk about?
Sure. Beyond the solar past, I think, next steps are already in the works. Revision Energy has submitted for a pre-application for the interconnection study, and hopefully when we hear back from Unitil on their preliminary thoughts, we'll have an idea of how we're going to proceed. So there's that. So really just it's great it passed. So now continue the work to keep going on the project. There is a big step with the interconnection study. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but there was really no reason to pursue it beforehand. But now there is, now that it's passed, we pursue an interconnection study. And that's when Unitil looks at the system and comes back with what upgrades they feel may be necessary to support the project. So that's a big point in this project is we'll next hear from them, and we'll go from there. So their system, because we don't know their system, it's kind of like a planning board reviews a development project and looks at our sewer and water infrastructure and our drainage infrastructure and sees what the capacity is and what improvements need to be made to it. So we'll be anxiously awaiting that, and I will report back when we get more information on that. The other DPW solar array, we did a final, the select board approved a motion to purchase it with the condition that several items were addressed that were in the analysis or the assessment of the system. And there was a couple strings that weren't working. There was a broken panel. Those have been done. And I met with Revision Energy, working on our behalf, and Revolution Energy, who's selling the array to the town, yesterday, and we did a final walkthrough, and they showed us the new panel and the thermal connectors that they replaced. So they met in my opinion, and Revision Energy's, the gentleman that did the assessment and identified those issues was there as well, was in agreement that they have done what they were asked to do, and we can move forward with the purchase. So I'll be sending a memo and invoice to the town manager for their final sign off. So, and also we did discuss there's a remote, there is a remote option on that now. And there used to be a dashboard that the public could access. That has been down, but it's reliant on internet access, hardwired inside one of the buildings. And Revision Energy proposed going to a cell right into the meter. So it's a cell signal that goes right to a cell tower off to their server. So it doesn't rely on any inter-building connections. It's a much more reliable remote monitoring platform. So we're looking into that, and Director Perry and I both agree that, it's a small amount of money that can be absorbed in the, the O&M contract that we're going to move forward with Revision Energy for, I think it's $750 a year, which is the bronze package. So they'll monitor it. They'll be able to tell if, the system, if there's any issues with the system, and report to us. So we'll have full-time, well, not full-time, but monitoring on it. Yeah, essentially full-time, but they'll check in on it and look at it and see if there's any issues, and then visit the site if there are, and troubleshoot the issues. So, that's where that is, and hopefully we'll. It looks like we'll be, we'll own the array outright in the next couple of weeks.
So would we still have some kind of dashboard for the public to see?
Well, that's what we asked for, and we wanted to, and they said they told us yesterday, we asked for it, and they said it's possible. They just have to figure out whether it's a hyperlink, to the website, or, they talked some language that went over my head a little bit. But the bottom line was, when it comes to computers, but the bottom line was we told them that's what we want. And they said, that they will work to make that happen. So I'm hopeful that it is, yes, that there'll be a dashboard. Anyone can get on and see the output at any given time.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Dave, I have a couple of questions for you. So now that the solar project is approved at the landfill, there was a girl named Teresa. I believe that was her name. So I would be happy to work with you to go over there at any point in the next couple months or so, as we're drawing up the plans after the utilities figure out how they need to upgrade or whatever, and talk about bushes or whatever that would help her feel comfortable with the project. Okay.
Oh, the abutter to the.
Yeah, she was in a butter. Yeah. So I'll make sure we take her comments seriously. Yeah. And then Amy said that she had seen some misinformation or disinformation or having confusion in Facebook about a maintenance contract with the new array proposal. Amy, can you mention that to Dave so it can be cleared up here and now?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just Facebook. It was on Facebook. It was in person at the polls yesterday. I mean, it was in the paper, which I thought was kind of crappy reporting, to be honest, because there was no sort of integrity by, the journalist to say, by the way, this is not the case. So they're interviewing this guy who says, I didn't vote for it because the maintenance costs will outweigh the, payback or whatever, kafooey it was. So this was obviously something that just people didn't understand. And whether it's just an assumption they all made, part of it was based on, I don't know, Lou, if it was something that you wrote in the paper, I can't remember, that said that the payback was guaranteed. Some people had a beef with that. Does that sound like your words? You're muted, Lou.
No, I don't think I said it was guaranteed.
Okay.
I wouldn't have used the word guaranteed.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, a couple people mentioned that, and they didn't like, that. I mean, that is, I guess, if that was used, that's not quite accurate. It can't be guaranteed. Not a lot in this world can be. So. Those were the issues, sort of misunderstandings. Not really. Obviously, people just didn't have enough information, I guess. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I saw that, and the actual quote was, the return is too small for the maintenance costs.
Right.
It'll take 33 years before it's solvent. And I don't understand that. I mean, based on the revision energy projections, at year 33, we will have a positive cumulative cash flow of $4,170,000. So I don't know where that's coming from. I don't. It's not the projections that revision energy has in their proposal. So and the maintenance costs, I believe that they anticipated were, I don't have the proposal right in front of me. I think there was $7,500 a year for the package that they recommended.
The bronze package, and then replacing inverters at year 12.
Inverters.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's all included in there. And honestly, I don't think we should give this random person any more airtime for his, gross math.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that. I think if you try to rebut it, I think it just keeps it, as an issue. I would say leave it.
Quash it.
Yeah, the project is a done deal, and it's almost like, I don't know, buying a business on a 10-year loan. Once the loan is up after 10 years, which is our bond is 10 years, you're making money after that, and you've been making money the entire time to pay off your loan. So it's pretty much a wash. So I don't know. I don't understand this 33-year thing. It's as long as the bond is, and that's it. Okay, so
And the vote was so.
what?
The vote was so lopsided. I think most people understand that it's a great thing for the town.
Yeah.
I understand the thought about not responding, not to keep the falsehood circulating, but has anyone responded with the facts?
To whom?
To whoever this person is.
Well, there's been plenty of responses. I mean, I spoke to a bunch of people at the polls yesterday. On Facebook, there were a lot of people kind of rebutting these thoughts, and actually giving the facts. But there's no way to refute the gentleman in the paper.
Yeah.
A letter to the editor with the actual information?
I don't think it's my opinion that we should not give it that much attention.
Okay.
I agree with Amy. I think, we've discussed it here. It's bad information. The contract and the proposal has been on the website for a month or two or something. It's clearly out there. Everybody has seen it that wanted to. And in the future, if we do any more PSAs about, the first panel is in, or whatever we want to say, we could, then restate the facts again, so like that way. But not a standalone thing, just work it into any other things we do in the future, just to make sure it's smoothed over and the correct information is there. Dave?
Thanks. Moving past that issue, I do want to bring up something, because from what Josh, when I was asking about HB 106, because everyone seemed to think that was a Revision Energy and others I spoke to, that was going to pass, because actually that could have passed last year, but it got, somebody was asking too much, or however we heard it. But that is going to allow, right now, we're capped at 1 megawatt. So that needs to pass. So
I don't think it's 315 though, I think you're referring to 106, right?
106.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I heard 315.
I
Sorry.
think before you came on, he said SB 109 and HB 106 are very, very similar bills. And it's either one or the other, depending on the language. And I think both of them have increases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as, if that passes, if it doesn't, we're going to have to, discuss next steps, because if we're limited at 1 megawatt, there's a possible of phasing, but we're not approaching it that way. So, but that is a key component. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, this is the power of positive thinking, Dave.
Okay. Good.
It's happening. Okay. So if we want to move on quickly, Cliff is still here, and Lou and, oh, yeah.
One quick thing. Going back to what you just said, Dave, wouldn't it be important for us to get behind 106 or 109, whichever it is, and at least go online and support it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Can support it, write a letter, testify, whatever you want to do, just we'll get on that as a committee.
Yeah, that's where I was going when I asked Josh, what are the next steps? When do they determine on the cap? And he was like, I don't know. So we'll just try to follow it and support it wherever we can.
Yes.
The bills that are retained are worked on over the summer and then brought back for the next session in 2022. So keep giving input to the folks on the committee that are going to be working on it over the summer.
But it hasn't been retained yet, right?
One of them has.
HB 106?
Yeah, I think that's what Josh said.
No, he said 213 was retained. the renewable portfolio standard.
Yeah, okay. There's so many bill numbers.
All right, so if anybody wants to do research, or I can send an email, there was HB 106, which was about the cap, SB 109, which was about the cap, and HB 213, which was about the renewable portfolio standard. I'll look up all those and send an email so you guys can know where to look.
Renee, Josh
has his hand up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see him because he's not there. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Hi. Or have a cap added to it. It hasn't yet.
Okay, clear on that. Thank you.
Do you have are there any dates or any?
Committee dates you can see online. If you look under representative and standing committees, you can see what's been done and what's not. And then there's a link over on the right for remote testimony, and in little letters above that is for the remote the calendar, the remote calendar. And when you bring up the calendar, it for each day tells you what bills are being heard and whether they're in a public hearing or already an executive session. And you can click on those and offer your support or opposition and offer to testify or not. Some committees are better at listening to the people that sign in to, just to support or oppose. Other committees are not so much, like mine.
Well, right now on that's what I was asking, right on the general court website, when you look up HB 106, it says it's retained.
Well, then there it is.
Okay.
I guess we have to update on that. We'll be sending out another policy update on Friday, so we'll have some information on that if you're receiving the policy updates.
Yeah, and I recommend spending your, happy Friday night or Saturday looking at the bills in the various committees and getting it in there, whatever your position is, especially if you want to testify. We've had some trouble with people. There's a cutoff for choosing to testify. That's 8 a.m. on the morning of that bill is going to be heard. And we actually had a debate in our committee that even though people were in the attendees section of the committee and had their hands up, they didn't check in before 8, so we weren't going to listen to them. And we opposed that and got the people to be able to speak. So other committees are well into having everybody participate. So watch out for that.
8 a.m. Okay, thank you. Okay, no more hands up. All right, great. Community choice power. Cliff and Lou will speak to where we are on this.
Well, I'm not sure where we are, except that the amended HB 315, I think, is a vast improvement. And Cliff, I'll be interested to hear what you say. It seems to me that the amended 315 is actually an improvement over 365 in terms of being clear. It looks to me like virtually everything that the original HB 315 took away has been pretty much reinstated. Would you agree with that, Cliff?
It appears so. And for that matter, the main thing we were interested in, the aggregation itself, certainly is still in place. So I think that, I guess what I was thinking is that we should sort of get back on the track that we were on before 315 came up, which is to say our next step is to prepare, which you started, Lou, a letter to the selectmen to suggest next steps, which I think at this point are two. One is to form the committee, the aggregation committee, and the other is to join the coalition. And that's why I think that meeting on the 18th is important, because I think there's some questions that need to ask about that. And like, well, what, I know that initially it will cost nothing, or at least that's what Henry has said, but the agreement, the municipal agreement, does speak to, paying a fair share, which is perfectly fine for some costs that'll be associated with it. We need to find out more about that before we say anything to the selectmen about it, I think.
I agree. And I was kind of hesitant about going forward until we were quite sure that the amended version of 315 was going to pass. Now, from what I've heard today from Josh and everybody else, it sounds like it definitely is. So I'm more sanguine about going ahead to the select boards. So yeah, let's wait till we go to that meeting on the 18th, and maybe Cliff, you and I can get together after that and put something together. And Dave, I don't know if you're still there, but do you have any thoughts about when it's appropriate to bring something like that before the board, or should we just go ahead whenever we feel like it? Or maybe Julie has some thoughts on that too.
I think that we should at least bring it up to the board to be looking out for that. And it's depending on, the votes at the House that might get more people to, testify, or at least give us their opinion on support or not. But to do a full-fledged, here's what it means. I think we need to flesh that out a little bit more before we ask the selectmen to go through. Right. But I'd be happy to get it on the agenda. Won't be for Monday, but 2 weeks from Monday.
What are you thinking of getting on the agenda? Just that we are looking into community power in more detail, or
maybe a check-in, sort of a check-in. Yeah. Here's where we are. Here's what's been happening. Not decision time, but
no, not yet. Because we still have some time between, when the committees all finish up and we do crossover. We meet as the House, which I think is going to be in Bedford again, and then see how that goes before the crossover happens, and then we can all target the Senate, or we could target the Senate now. Start them in thinking about it.
Okay, so an interim update to the select board will be on March, 29th or something. And this will follow the March 18th webinar that everybody is going to, where they're going to firm up the details and get a better grip on definitions.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be in touch, Cliff, and we'll
after the 18th,
figure it out after the 18th.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, winding up on community power. All right, moving on to the Green Minute video project. I can describe what that is. So for a number of years, I've been trying to get the town to have some kind of PAN committee or website or Facebook or whatever. And it's kind of slow going because of various things and now COVID. But one thing I thought that could be done is a small video project that could be done maybe twice a year. And Earth Day seemed the perfect time to launch it. Mm-hmm. So it's called the Green Minute Video Project. And what this is 10 different committee chairs of committees that are what we would call green will go one after another giving a 1-minute update of what their committee is doing. Dave will open this saying, I'm the sustainability officer. This is what we've been doing, and here are committees to tell you more. And our lovely Camille will close it as a student representative and thanking on behalf of her generation. So that is kind of underway. Bob Glowacki is involved with this, and the committee chairs that I invited all agreed to do it. So I imagine that it will be finished towards the end of March and then can run for Earth Day. And all the committee chairs seem very happy to be able to say something to the public from their committees as a mass group. There's even, a tree committee is going to talk about their planting. So all kinds of sustainable actions that are going on.
Which committees have you approached?
Sure. Let's see. Let me see if I can find one on my screen here. I do have a specific committee in mind.
Well, we bring it up once in a while, and it's actually been brought up in my committee about using existing housing stock as opposed to building new because of the retention of the old construction materials. That if you tear down a building, it's you're buying into something new and less stable, actually. And it's come up in our committee about allowing for up to 4 accessory dwelling units. So we keep an old house like mine, but make it viable for the cost.
So you want to add the housing committee in, you think? Let's see, where is it? Here's the ending slide, or the opening slide. These are the people that agreed to be on it. I could add the housing committee.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. And if they want to back up the Heritage Commission, it would be nice to give us a little airtime.
What do you mean, back up? You want the Heritage Commission invited also, or?
Yeah, I think we could follow up on the Housing Advisory Committee because they have similar interests. And I could give, our chair can give a explanation of what's important about keeping what we already have. And the Housing Committee is also looking at what we already have, but going beyond that to how do we improve how much housing we have.
Okay, and the chair of the Heritage Committee is
John Merkel.
John Merkel, that's right. John Merkel, I've met him. And the chair of the Housing Committee is?
Nancy Belanger. I was going to say Renee.
Nancy Belanger.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll invite them and see if they are interested. Okay, any questions on the video project?
No, it's great.
Just a comment, Renee, from doing the facilities committee when they were talking about what they're going to talk about. We already filmed. I don't know if it'd be worth, especially with these other committees that Julie mentioned that may not deal with sustainability every day or what you consider green. So in the facilities, they were like, what exactly are they looking for? Like sustainable, so broad. So like you're looking for what those committees are doing that relate to green initiatives, not just what they're doing in general, right?
Exactly. Like, are they planning insulation upgrades for efficiencies? Is that, how are they doing? How are they being green?
Yeah, so I don't just to really drill that in, because the facilities committee, they eventually got there, but more instruction is never a bad thing.
All right, more instruction. Talk about green things only. Okay, yeah, they can talk about all they want in their own video. This is just the green video. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's checked off the agenda. Next up, student liaison update with Camille.
Okay, so my first article for the EHS Talon, which is their online newspaper, got published last week, a week ago today.
What?
I've got 35 views so far. Let's see what else. I'm looking into the environmental club at my school to see if I can partner with them or join their club and bring new ideas to the table. And I think that's it right now. But yeah.
I could just say,
it was a great article, Camille.
The article was great, Camille. Really good.
All right, thank you. Oh, there it is. There it is. The Talon. Okay, thank you. Bob, since you shared that on the screen, is there a way that could go on the Energy Committee's Facebook
Certainly, yeah.
page as a post? That might be good. Thank you. All right, are you all done, Camille?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. And so, Amy, you're next up on the agenda if you want to talk about anything that's going on with heat pumps, or you're going to write a letter for Earth Day.
I am. I might need some help on wording it. I don't know what. I'll figure it out. Yes. I'm going to write a letter. We don't have another heat pump webinar plan, do we?
No, we do not. However, Josh sent out the Local Energy Solutions newsletter, and on it, there was a March 30th heat pump webinar. And I was confused for a minute. I'm like, I don't have that on my calendar. But anyway, they're doing it, and he's doing it with a rep from Mitsubishi, and then somebody from the PUC is potentially invited. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that I may attend that and then also link that onto our own webpage.
Yeah, I'd like to go to that too.
Yeah, okay. That was the 30th. You'll see it in the LES newsletter, which came out today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then down to Betsy Stevens' application, which has not been approved yet. And I do apologize for that, Betsy. I think that because of the COVID and the town meeting and the town manager being off, something happened somewhere. But I was following up, and they promised that you are being discussed. Actually, Julie may want to mention some dates.
Well, I'll get it on this month's agenda. I mean, Monday's agenda. Appointments take hardly any time. So no matter what we have going on, that's an easy one to make.
No worries here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. And then the last thing is that we had an offer to do a building audit for somebody who was getting a certificate for building occupancy, and I had an epic fail on that. I was unable to set him up with the building in the time that he needed to because his class was starting in the next week. And we had to check with the DPW, and the DPW was on quarantine and just all sorts of just ugly things. So anyway, he was assigned a commercial building elsewhere. Oh, so I was mad about that. But next time we have one of these asks, I'll make sure I'll follow it down like within 24 hours, get an answer, because that would have been nice. Okay. Is there anything else anybody has? Because that's the end of the agenda. Did I see Cliff raise his hand?
I have. No, I did.
Okay, Lou. Oh, yeah, Lou.
Renee?
Mm-hmm.
If Josh is still there, I wondered if, or maybe Julie knows anything about where the PUC is on rules and regulations for community power.
As far as I know,
anything about when they're.
As far as I know, the PUC works like a snail, so I don't have any idea of when they might be even at all. I have no idea.
I think either Clifton or Henry said at one of the meetings that, they sort of took the opportunity of 315 to just stop work on it for at least for a time being. So I have a feeling they have made no progress since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to what happened to the bill that was going through about the Volkswagen money and the electric car chargers. It's just stalled because of COVID. I'm hoping that it comes back, raging back, and somehow it goes quickly. But right now, it's just stalled. So everything in its own time, as is said. Speaking of that, we are closing in on the end of the meeting. Any other last-minute comments? Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending, and thank you for a great effort on the solar project.
I did have a last minute comment, and that is just congratulations to Lou and the whole committee, I guess, for the solar project. I just think that's so fantastic. It's just wonderful.
And I was glad that it came in just in time to get it on the ballot, and because it was really a no-brainer to me, and the select board also. It was easy to get it on there. So it's good timing.
I said Lou and Dave in particular. Just need to do a victory lap on that one, I think.
Yeah, seriously. Too bad we can't be together. But, spring is right around the corner, and it's been a year since we've been locked down, and who knows when we'll be able to kind of meet in person, or parts of us in person or something. I don't know. So, happy day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I need a motion to close. Oh, my God. So formal.
I move to close.
Second.
Voting.
Aye.